It was my second day on set. I had just booked the role like a week ago, so I had all this pressure on me, and they wanted a one shot of my face down to the flint, and so we would shoot it, and nothing was happening because the pyrotechnic wasn't working. And so I was all in my head, so Dallas took me aside, he walked me through it, he told me about the significance of this scene, how many millions of people are going to watch this and be affected by it, and I think that really hit me.
Hey, it's Dave from The Morning Cruise. Welcome to Chosen Conversations. We sat down with several cast members and the creator of The Chosen at ChosenCon to chat about their experiences on the show and about Season 5. Today, we talked to Austin Reed Alleman. He plays Nathanael on the show. Austin and I are both from Louisiana, so we connected a bit on what we miss about our home state, growing up as LSU fans, but then also about his character on The Chosen, Nathanael, one of the lesser-known disciples, and we found out whether that was a challenge or an advantage. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this Chosen Conversation.
And we have Austin here with us this morning. Austin, it's so nice to meet you.
So nice to meet you.
Just to kind of let you know who we are a syndicated morning show. It's The Morning Cruise with Dave, Bill, and Carmen. And we're syndicated in Florida, Georgia, Alabama, South Carolina, parts of Tennessee, so the Southeast. And when we got the invitation to come to ChosenCon, I want to introduce you to my mother. We call her Mohair.
Mohair.
Yes,
that's me.
This is why you kept this a secret while we were filming, while we were off screen, and then we're like, we'll tell you who she is.
Yeah,
I was like, I can't wait to.
So here's the thing,
out.
There was no way that we could come to Chosen and not bring my mother. I don't know that she would have ever spoken to me again. I think there would have been a family rift.
I'm sure there has been family rifts from our show.
Yeah.
From different people being able to get like some experience that the other person hasn't. But I get it. I get it because I also have brought my mother here.
Have you?
That's awesome.
And my dad and my girlfriend and all that. But they love it too. They love Chosen.
That's great. So we did tell Mom, we said, okay, if you go. Well, first of all, she did show prep for us. She busted in our morning show the other morning.
Busted in, like
we're live on the air. Live on the air. We've got video to prove it. She busted in.
No shame.
Yeah.
Not when it comes to the Chosen.
Not when it comes to Chosen. So she kept wanting to, because we'd given her the assignment. We'd surprised her that she was coming. We'd given her the assignment. And so we said, go do prep. Well, she kept talking to us and saying, hey, we need to have a meeting. And we're like, we will. Well, she got tired of waiting. So she knocks on the window. She walks in with 11 pages of notes, handwritten about The Chosen. So she is prepped. So with that, Mom, do you want to kick us off and ask Austin a question?
You perform your character beautifully. I love it. But I was just wondering, is there a scene that has impacted or stayed with you that's been one of your favorite scenes? Because I think you're great in all of them.
Thank you. I
tell me your favorite.
There's many, but I always go back to the walk on water scene. That 3 days of filming was like a dream come true for me. It really felt like we were working on this massive $1 billion franchise. We were out there on that water, and it was like, I couldn't believe what was happening. I was like, this feels real. And then the excitement of seeing how that would come together with the CGI. There's so many throughout this process. I mean, we're on season 6 now. There's another scene that comes to mind.
Okay.
I can't talk about it. But you will see it.
You can tell us. We will.
At the end of episode 1.
Okay.
That was very impactful and amazing to film. And I look forward to getting to see it one day. But it starts with the writing. You know, that's why the show's so popular. The characters are so relatable, all of that kind of stuff. So I feel like it's a testament to the show when my mind is racing on, which scene I want to talk about because there's so many.
They are.
But the walk on water scene, I have to say, was amazing. I'm sorry if somebody else has said it.
Okay.
You're the first. You're the first.
Okay, I'm glad to hear I'm the first.
I want to get into another scene that's one of my favorites. But before we do, you're from New Orleans?
I am, and I was going to mention that when you were saying the South.
Right. I grew up in Baton Rouge.
No way.
Yeah. So moved to Tampa in '96. The first thing I noticed when I moved out of Louisiana was I missed the food. Do you miss the food?
All the time.
Oh.
All the time. The food is spectacular. Spectacular, literally. But I live in New York City.
Which is a good food town.
So I got to say it's the best food town. Honestly, New Orleans is the most amazing in my opinion, but New York City, you can have anything you could ever want.
Pretty much
And-
any time you want it too.
Exactly. And the best part about it is it's made by the people from that place.
Oh, wow.
Right.
That's amazing.
So you know you're getting something authentic without going all around the world to try it. So yeah, I have kind of the best of both worlds, but I miss it very much. Baton Rouge, I was going to say, we actually filmed the Walk on Water scene in Shreveport. I don't know
is
if
that
you
right?
knew that.
No, I did not know that.
We filmed it in Shreveport. We drove over from Texas where we were filming, but they had a massive pool where they film outdoor scenes. I believe, I could be mistaken, but it might be where they filmed The Perfect Storm,
Okay.
some of that stuff. If I'm mistaken, then I'm mistaken, but somebody lied to me on set then. So it's not my
Sounds
fault.
good to us.
First time.
But it's this massive tank, and before every scene, they would be like, "Okay, let's get the water moving," and you would hear this like deep punch over and over, and it would be like the hydraulic system, and we would start going, all right, here we go. And then they would turn on the sprinklers and the coldest water you've ever felt would come raining down on you. Then they would blow the fans. It was this whole thing. But yes, Shreveport. And so I was so thrilled to get to film in my home state. But yeah, Baton Rouge, spent many times over at Baton Rouge watching the LSU Tigers.
Oh, good for you.
Here we go.
I spent a lot of time in Tiger Stadium. Oh,
You-
yeah.
You know, I was a massive Tiger fan when I was a kid. My dad, my grandpa, we've had seats for, I don't know,
Right.
decades.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then the tailgating before, all that, it's a special thing. Going to see
Yeah.
Mike Tiger, all that stuff. But now I'm a massive Saints fan.
Okay.
That's okay.
So college football has kind of gone on the back burner. But when I was a kid,
okay.
I used to cry when they would lose. I remember LSU and
still
Iowa.
does.
Yeah. LSU and Iowa.
Yeah.
There was some game like a decade ago or something, heartbreaking bowl game loss. Anyway.
No, I love it.
Oh,
we're
no,
big football
we're
fans.
big.
So that's
Good.
perfect.
We are.
Okay, Tampa. You said Tampa.
Well, I'm Tampa Bay Bucks fan.
Of
Love
course.
Bucks, but Roll Tide. I'm originally from Alabama. Sorry,
right.
I know.
I gotta head out. Gotta head out, everybody. Just kidding.
That's hilarious.
1 week out of the year, I feel completely
Yes.
caught in the middle, and I try to keep them from.
We're friends on Monday after.
So awkward.
Yeah, and we've worked together almost 20 years, so we've had 20 of these.
Yeah, we've
Wow.
gotten to it. So let's talk a little
right.
bit about early on in season 2, when we first meet Nathanael. There are a few Jesus Light episodes in The Chosen where he's hardly ever seen. This is kind of one of those because you come onto the scene and pretty much carry the episode. It's all your story. The scene under the tree where you're asking God, do you see me? Is extremely emotional. There's a lot of emotion in that scene. There's a lot of snot in that scene, I have to say.
I'm sorry.
That's all right.
I'm sorry.
How do
just
you
means
prep
you did
for
it well.
that?
You prep as much as you can, but at the end of the day, it's just trusting in that, trusting your training. Look, I've gone to school for acting since high school. I went to Performing Arts High School in New Orleans called NOCA, so I had a very different kind of high school experience. Went to a college, SUNY Purchase, conservatory, 6 days a week. What they teach you is to have a toolbox of different acting techniques that you can utilize depending on what the scene calls for. That scene called for a lot, basically. I mean, it called for, obviously he's emotional. There's no way to get around that in the script. It's there. So I knew that would be coming. But once you get there on the day, you realize you really only have like an hour to shoot that scene because they wanted a specific light for it, sunset. And so we were up against it with that. We were on the clock. And I felt that. So I felt kind of like self-conscious. I felt like felt freezing. It was freezing that day we were filming. It was also like my second week filming. It was my second day on set, basically. I had just booked the role like a week ago. Wow. So I had all this pressure on me. And so you got to show up and you got to just trust that something's going to happen. And nothing was happening because the pyrotechnic flint thing of burning my papers, it wasn't working. And they wanted a one shot of my emotional face down to the flint. And so we would shoot it and then go down to the flint and it wouldn't spark and it wouldn't work. And so we had to do it again. We had to do it again. And so I was all in my head. So Dallas took me aside. He walked me through it. He told me about the significance of this scene, how many millions of people are going to watch this and be affected by it. And I think that really hit me. And it started getting something going, and the juices started flowing. So I was like, all right, let's go, let's film it. And then that take is the take that they used. So there was one take where it all kind of worked. And of course, the one take where the performance is happening is when the pyrotechnic worked. And so thankfully, I just told this story over there, but so I hope I'm not repeating myself. But it's just a moment that I'll never forget. Learning lesson as well. Just trust the process.
Right.
Trust the toolbox that it's going to be there when you need it most.
I think that scene adds so much weight to what I think is often just kind of a throwaway line in Scripture. We all see, everybody knows Jesus says, "Oh, I saw you under the fig tree." And it has no significance really when you read it just on its own. But then when Dallas puts it in this context and we see a struggle that humanizes Nathanael, who we know very little about, then that whole scene and everything that built up to it brings a whole new meaning and depth to "I saw you under the fig tree."
Yeah, I mean, that's a very good point. I came to this show very much an outsider. I had no idea any of this. So my first introduction to the character of Nathanael was the script. So I kind of had just the script. And so I had this deep understanding from the first episode of who this guy was and everything he's lost. And I think no matter, what your religion is or everyone can relate to losing something and being in a very, very low moment, crying out for help. And so that's very easy for me to connect to. Devastating losses, devastating career things, not getting a part or something like that might be significant to the same as Nathanael getting fired, when his building fell. And so you can relate to that. And I think that's why the show is so popular. The stories have been told many, many times, but it's because of taking one line from the text and turning it into an entire character that people are very affected by. That hasn't been done with these stories
your
yet.
Character beautifully.
Oh,
beautifully.
thank you very much. Well, it starts with the writing, and Nathanael was modeled after Dallas's life and what happened to him, and so I also didn't know that until he pulled me aside and told me this before we started filming.
We didn't know that.
He said it many times now.
I didn't know that.
But coming to the show, that's really what got me emotional and ready to film that scene, because he was like, "Look, this is my character. This is my moment. Like, this is a huge deal for me to film this scene." So that really locked me in.
If you could, as a character, as somebody playing a character, if you could go back and ask the actual Nathanael, the guy this is based on, there's a mystery to every character, I would think, right? It's a puzzle, it's a discovery. If you could go back and ask the actual guy one question, what would be the puzzle you'd want to solve about Nathanael?
I would want to know why. Like, why drop everything? I guess we know why, but there's so many characters in our show that literally drop everything at a moment's notice to follow this and join this group and to follow him. So I would just want to know, were we accurate? Did you really follow him because you lost your job and lost everything, and then you had somebody say they saw you when you didn't think anybody saw you? That must be it. But I would just want to know, is that what it was?
It's compelling, isn't it?
And then I also would want to ask, why are you the way that you are? It's like that thing from The Office. I love that line that he asks Toby. I don't know if you ever watched The Office, but he's just like, why are you the way that you are? And I would ask that because there's many, many, many times in our show where Nathanael breaks the ice or says something very inappropriate and all of that kind of stuff. One of my favorite scenes to film was in season 3, where Nathanael comes to sleep over at Eden and Shahar's character.
Peter.
Yeah.
I'm getting there. Yeah.
That's
I'm like,
okay.
Which character do I use? Do I do Simon or Peter? But at that time it was Simon. and he's just so in the way, and it's so obvious, and he doesn't realize it. He doesn't care. He doesn't care.
You gotta love that.
Even if they were like, Nathanael, you're in the way, he doesn't care. So that would be my big question. Nathanael, why are you the way that you are?
So great.
I have been told I'm very similar to him.
I love it.
Yeah.
I'm not similar in the way that my social cues. I have a lot of self-awareness. I know when I'm not supposed to be in a room that I'm.
But we heard
I'm
you
not
have a
supposed to.
rapier wit in addition to your serious acting chops.
I guess I've heard that I am similar to my character in that way. I will say things genuinely. I will say things, and people will burst out laughing, and I'm like, what is funny about that? They're like, I just didn't think somebody was gonna say that out loud.
That's so funny.
Thanks for listening to this Chosen Conversation with Austin Reed Alleman. On the next episode, we'll be talking to Abe Bueno-Jalad, who plays Big James on The Chosen. And if you'd like to watch any of these episodes or see bonus content from Chosen Con, you can subscribe to the Joy FM's YouTube channel or follow us on social media, The Joy FM.